Hey guys, welcome back. This is a new series. This is part of Man Master, where we talk about the core camp, which is part of the manhood frequency and the one-day gift. We'll get back to the one-day gift and it's coming soon. But first, we're going to go back to the circle. We'll show you on the screen. And we're starting with that personal section, zone 1. And within the zone 1, you'll notice that there are 3 separate sections. We call them codes. And today we're going to talk about code 1, health and wellness. A little bit of personal development, but I think you're going to like this today, right here on TMF-Warrior. Guys, we're back. This is exciting. Exciting day because today we start the new series called Man Master. Under Man Master, we have Core Camp in the center, and then we have the 7 zones, being the ones that you see here. But today we're going to focus on the first one, Z1, Zone 1, and each of the 3 codes. Now, we say a lot here on TMF Warrior that to be a true warrior, you have to learn the secret codes of living life on the right frequency. Today, we begin that process. If you've already been through the series, the Manhood Frequency TMF, and soon we will start the second series as part of Core Camp called The One Day Gift. But we are jumping ahead a little bit, and I'm excited because today I listened to, and I'm going to pull it up on my phone here. It's important. You ready for this? This is the title. I'm a big fan of Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David. Patrick, if you ever buy Some Miracle, see us. Maybe you will in the future. I think you'll like our show. I am looking at today a topic called It's Important to Be Hot, or Good Luck Secretly Boosting Power in Business. So today I went through this episode, got to watch it. It's not long. Check it out, about 15 minutes. We'll make sure that our producer leaves a link down in the bottom. But today I want to talk a little bit more about the importance of, is that true? And if there is some level of power, where does it come from? I went back and listened to it, and a lot of what they say is absolutely true. There's an important factor in being a man, being a warrior, but in just being a man, whether you follow the biblical principles we teach here and the model that we teach or not. Let's face it, in this story, you'll hear Patrick Bet-David talk about the importance of looking and grooming and keeping yourself professional. Now, the way he attacked it was interesting. So his story is, I believe Patrick was a big fan of bodybuilding. If you go back and watch some of his earlier shows, you'll see that he's had Ronnie Coleman on. I believe it might be Phil Heath, some of these other bodybuilders, and definitely a big fan. He worked at Bally's when he was younger. And I think after coming out of the military and the Army, he worked at Bally's, was into fitness. And he says here, and you'll see the video in just a second, as people approach men and he analyzed them, sort of a free analysis, he looked at them up and down, said, stand up. And then, of course, he goes into this, watch this. And he'll say it to himself. Takes about maybe a minute and a half.
All right. So to me, I think when it comes down to this, you have to, I used to work at Bally's. And when I would work at Bally's, guys would come in. And, I would have some fun with them, but I would also, it was 50% fun, 50% serious. I would have them stand up. I'm like, okay, so are you single? I am. When's the last time you had a steady relationship? Not in a while. Do you own a gym membership? Obviously, I don't. Okay, you look at me like, I said, look, man, what are you going to do to make this work? Okay. So then I'm like, listen, can I just talk to you openly? Yes. I said, stop trying to grow a beard. You don't have one. It doesn't look good. You either have it, do it. You don't have it, you don't have it. Don't do it. All right. Number 2, what is this hairdo you got here? What is this all about? Like, what are you doing with this hairdo? I said, we got to get rid of this hairdo. It's a pretty shitty hairdo. We got to fix this thing here, right? That's not going to work. Go to somebody, and I would introduce him to one of my guys. Go get a nicer haircut. This is embarrassing. You can't go around looking like this. No girl's going to want to date you. And if she does, I would question her integrity, like what she's doing this for. Then it's the way you dress. Tell me how you dress. Tell me what you're wearing. What is unique about your brand? When you walk into a room, what's going to be different about you? What do you dress that's just different than everybody else? What do you do? Okay, great. Here's what I do. Working out, energy. Do you smile? Do you take care of yourself?
So what do you think? What do you think about what you just saw? Is it accurate? Later on, Adam talks, one of the co-hosts talks about the importance of men being completely transparent and willing to take criticism. And he gives kudos to us men because we can handle it better than women. Not sure that's true. Let's face it. We all act like we're tough, but deep down we're ultra sensitive, most of us, and we don't want to be told what to do. That's the problem with our society today. I wish it were so. I wish Adam was correct, but I don't believe that's the case. I believe that men will get offended. We don't say the things maybe that we say, and maybe it needs to come from women. But let me tell you a little story about someone who's very near and dear to me. This young man who I've gotten to know for over many, many years, he is incredibly talented. He's 34 years old and successful. He's a manager at a company. But when it comes to the confidence and the look, there's something missing. I've had a conversation with him once or twice, and I said, "You have such great potential, but here's what the problem is." And I go back to what Patrick said: look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself honestly, would you date you? And the truth of the matter is that he honestly said, I see what you're saying. When you looked him up and down, great looks, good looking man, but his grooming of his hair, teeth, face, clothes, I said to myself, you're missing the fact that you don't believe in you. And it's more than just grooming or looking hot. Let's be honest with ourselves. I understand some of what they're saying here. That hotness probably ignites with all of us a sense of confidence, a sense of power. And today I was driving back from a meeting that I had down in Sarasota, Florida. I was thinking about this, and I thought to myself, I am a man of faith. I believe in the TMF-Warrior lifestyle. I believe in living life on the right frequency. But I want to make sure that everyone here, and I'm looking here, here, and here, because I want any angle to understand what I'm saying here, that that does not that does not remove your responsibility to be presentable, not to attract women to you in a bad way, not to attract ego or increase your ego. It's more important for you that when you see yourself in the mirror, you are a great representative of the warrior lifestyle. And we know here what that means. That means that you know that you have a team behind you, a representation, a brotherhood of men that we walk with integrity. What do we say here? That to live life on the right frequency, you must have two key components. You must have a clear conscience, and you must have a quiet confidence. That's right, confidence. So one of the things that we men are missing is that swagger, that confidence, but in a good way, not in a way that is saying, "Hey, look at me, hot ladies." And interesting, the gentleman who's older on the show, you'll see that he jokingly says, "What's the best pickup line?" And one of his response was, "Your place or mine." Now, he's joking. He was 21 years when he learned that, and he's well dressed. He looks confident. But the reality is, confidence comes from a different place. Now, we know that it comes from the presence of God that lives within us. We know it comes from that team behind us, that kingdom team, a brotherhood of men from our Father in heaven and from the presence of Christ. But the reality is that there is a lot of truth to what these guys are saying. You men, let's be honest. I'm going to be transparent with a lot of you. If you're from the age of 18, where we really encourage men to join here, or you're the age of 88 and you don't have a wife, or at least some stable relationship that at any time where a woman respected you, you're not on a path of a professional career. You're sitting in the basement playing video games at your parents' house and your mom's desperate to get you out. There's something wrong. There's something broken. And I think it's high time that you go to the mirror, you look at it, and just ponder for a minute and say to yourself, is this the guy I want to be? You know, when Patrick said, about the teeth, the brush, the smell, the cleanse, Even taking the blow dryer and blowing yourself off and drying yourself so you don't get that rancid smell of sweat or water, humidity. The reality is he's right. But the problem is us men don't want to hear that. So I'm excited because this is the first of a series where we're going to be completely blunt and honest with you men. Guys, if you are 30 years old and you neither have a girlfriend nor a wife, if you don't know the first thing about looking good, if your pants drag to the ground and your butt's cracks showing, if your belly's sticking out, okay, if your face is halfly grown out, if your nose hairs are popping out of your nose, if your smell is questionable and you lift your arms and you're embarrassed, and I hate this to be as practical as I am today, but the reality is they're right. Hats off to PBD because the reality is, men, we got to change. We got to change. And yes, it comes from the inside, but it doesn't stop at the heart. It's got to come all the way. I mentioned earlier I was coming back from Sarasota, but on Wednesday I went to the men's group Bible study. And great men, but something was missing there. And men, if you watch our show, I'm going to challenge the men that go to this Bible study. And I love you to bring it up when we meet on Wednesday. But there's something missing with a lot of us men, right? We say we love God, but then we don't have any fire left within us. There's nothing hot about us. We've lost our swagger. We've lost our confidence. God, when you got saved, when you became a Christian, when you became a warrior, man, you don't lose that. A warrior here doesn't walk around like putty, or he doesn't walk around with a lack of interest in himself or in the affairs of others. He walks with confidence. He's like a soldier, well trained, keeps his head high, walks with good posture and confidence. And I challenge you, men, today to start changing the way you look at yourself and the way you think about yourself. Okay? Now, I was coming back from Sarasota. I had a great dinner last night. Went to, oh my God, Ocean Prime. If you are down in Sarasota, you got to go there. Shout out to the guys and to the gentleman, I think Connor, who took care of us. He looks like General Custer. So you check him out there. Go to Ocean Prime, go to Sarasota, check it out, have dinner. But more importantly, I thought to myself, the men that I met this week, a group of men that I'll be working with in partnership as a consultant, they had a fire within them. They were excited about life. They weren't ready to just give up and every day say, Jesus, just take the wheel and come home and take me, as almost like we're giving up. If you're a warrior, okay, get back in the battle, all right? Being a warrior doesn't mean being a wimp, all right? If you're a real warrior or a real man, okay, you look well. You go to the barber. You get your hair done to look presentable. You make sure you take showers and you keep your hygiene well groomed from top to bottom. Okay? You present you go to, well, I don't care if you go to Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Dillard's, or Saks Fifth Avenue. You can go to somewhere where you can afford. And even if you have to go, honestly, to a thrift store, there are great buys there. But make the effort to begin to dress. And I encourage you to look in magazines, GQ magazines, other like that. Now, while we live in this world, we are not of this world, but we still need to represent the kingdom, that team behind us, well. And I don't think a lot of us are doing it, man. So I'm going to make this a pretty short message. All right. As I wrap this up, I think back to myself. When I was on that me frequency, man, and then I went through a bit of a turmoil in my marriage where there was a 2-year period of cleansing, of going to ground zero and rebuilding the structure of my life. And then once I dialed to that right frequency and I got a clear conscience and a quiet confidence, my wife sat me down one day and said, "Hey, what's happened to you?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "I'm so thankful that you are living life respecting me and honoring me and valuing me. But doing all of that doesn't mean I want some fuddy-duddy husband. I want a guy with some swagger. I want a guy with some oomph. And she was right. I thought to myself, I need to go back to the mirror. I need to look at myself and say, hey, wait a minute. Now, I didn't want to be in the me frequency, but I wanted to be on a frequency that honored both God and yet kept the fire within me. Does any of this ring true? You guys understand what I'm saying? Listen, if you're watching this episode, you're starting to follow us, I encourage you. Everything we do here is based on what we call battle steps or battle action plans. And you know what the plan is now. You know what you have to do. Step 1, go to the mirror. Look at yourself and say, if I was a female, would I date this guy? 2, look in the mirror and say, if I look like that, would if this guy came to me, wanted a job, would I hire this guy? And 3, I'd encourage you to really look at your personality. There are personality profile tests you can take that are free. You can do an IQ test with AI, not all AI is bad. Have it write you out a 50-question IQ test, answer, fill it out, and then go ahead and have it tell you what type of personality is, okay? But most importantly, go to God. Go to God, step 4, go to God and say, God, you know what? Am I representing the kingdom, the team well? And if you're not, it's time to make a change to a new range. You got to step it up, men, and you got to become the men that the TMF Warriors are proud of. So I think you're going to get a lot out of this. Let me know. Put it in the comments. Please do me a favor, guys. Or ladies. Ladies, I would love you. If you're listening, you're a lady. I have family members, friends. Share this with other women. Share this with other men. And I would like you to answer this question. I'm going to have my producer put down in the notes. Answer this question. Are the men in our society worth dating? And give me your comment. So I encourage you guys to continue to like our channel, subscribe, and share it with others. Pray for us. I believe men need to hear these stories. Until next time, God bless you. And thanks for tuning in to TMF Warrior.